There we go. All right. So again, if you don't have a CodeHS teacher account, go ahead and browse out to that link in chat to sign up for one, codehs.com/sign up. If you do have an account, go ahead and sign in to your CodeHS account, and we're going to get you enrolled in the demo section for this workshop. And Linda's going to toss that into chat for us too. And you can get enrolled in the section. If you have any trouble enrolling in the section, just drop a note in chat and we will make sure to get you in. Perfect. Thank you, Linda. Let's see. Okay. We will chat. I'm just looking at Stephen. I have an account, but our school is pro version. How do I get into the pro version? We can chat about that. Once we get started, we'll make sure we get you connected to that. Okay, excellent. Okay, so a couple more quick notes here. Again, if you're just joining us, sorry, I forgot to shut off notifications on one thing. It's just going to click for a while. Just ignore that. Okay, so as we're getting started, if you haven't clicked on the attendance link, you can go ahead and do that. If you do not have a CodeHS account, you can browse out to codehs.com/sign up to create an account once you have an account, or if you have an account, sign into that account and then browse to that last link. And Linda just tossed everything back into chat, so we are good to go. You can browse to that last link, codehs.com/go/4AA71 to enroll in the section. That join code that you'll need are the last 5 characters of the URL, 4AA71. That was just more noise for me than you all needed to hear today. So if you've got questions as you go, if you can't get enrolled in the section, just drop a note into chat and Linda or I will take a look at that for you. And Laura will take a look at that and make sure you get enrolled. All right. I'm going to stop talking. We're going to turn this over to Enza and Debbie.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Okay, awesome. So those of you guys that are new, hello, my name's Enza, and Debbie is also in here. I'm going to pass it to Debbie here in a little bit. And I am a teacher. I've been teaching for over 15 years, and I've been using CodeHS ever since it was introduced to me years ago. Lots of different classes, now 2 different districts. And if you're new, we mentioned this yesterday, Debbie and I came up with this idea, like, what is the crash course we would want to have all set up before the school year even started? And so we built this 3-day, 30 minutes a day, drink your coffee with us, let's have everything set up. And then that way it's done. So a quick, sorry, there we go. Today's agenda is, if you haven't already, we're going to log into the workshop, and we're going to create our classes. So if you were here yesterday, use that chat feature, and I want you to brag about yourself. And if you went through like, hey, I'm teaching this class and I'm choosing this curriculum, go ahead and throw in chat and say, I did my homework or I did it, because, and everybody else, go ahead and boost up their ego, because that's awesome, because it's summer. And I know that some of us have tons of other obligations like the pool and shopping and everything else, relaxing. So if you did, good job. So we're going to create our classes from the curriculum we picked out, and we're going to have all of our curriculum that we could possibly want to use through CodeHS ready to go today with our classes. And after that, Debbie's going to take over and she's going to dive into here's, if you're new to CodeHS or if you're not, here's the features and here's what your students are going to be going through as they use it. And then you are going to have a little bit of homework again today. And your homework is, you'll have your classes set up and you're going to go through and just pick one of your classes, and you're going to go through and do a lesson as a student, just so that you know what your students are experiencing and going through. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to right over here. So if you have not had a chance to look at this, And I see some of you guys from yesterday already went through some of it. And it's nothing extra that you have to do. If you missed yesterday, you can go to day 1 and you can pick up our slides from yesterday and the homework assignment that I told you can do on a napkin if you wanted to, just anything to get your classes ready. And here we are on day 2. So if you need to go back and check out the slides as we're creating our courses, you can jump to day 2 and go back and say, you know, I missed a step, or I needed some extra assistance, or I needed to see the picture. You can go back and grab the slides from today. So the first step, ideally, and if you're a day behind, it's okay because you'll have access to go back, but at least you can watch and experiment or experience it with us by watching. So watch me do it, then you do it. Sounds like something a teacher would say. So the first place we're going to click, and I'm going to switch over to the slides, is once you're at this course, on the left-hand side, if you click on courses, and I'm going to go ahead and do that now. If you click on courses, you'll see that I actually went through, just like the workshop. Once it loads, you'll see I have my classes set up for the fall already. So you see my personal classes. You can't see any kids' information, so it's fine. And this is where you're going to click, and we're going to start with this create a new course button here in just a second. So while your computers are loading, I'm going to switch back to my slides. So I was ready for that to happen. So go ahead and click on courses. And if you have questions, jump into chat. We have a team of, we have Debbie and a team that's here to help. So here we go. So ideally, if you're following along, you've clicked on courses and you're going to see the box where it says create a new course. Here's what I would do if I were you. If you're not sure what you're teaching, but you know, hey, I'm probably definitely teaching blah, blah, blah course. I don't know, web design or intro to computer programming. I would go ahead and write down that course name right where it says name your course and click create a new course. And go ahead and we're going to start with that box. So there's another option over here, but I'm going to go ahead and click to the next screen. So here is just a visual. If you're not doing it and you're just watching, type in your course, click a create a new course, and you're going to choose course template when that comes up. Course template. There we go. Okay. So what you're going to see is you're going to get to a screen, and the screen is going to have the course catalog, the list of all the courses in the course catalog that we looked at yesterday. So you're going to scroll down and you're going to look for the course that you wrote down that you know that you want to your So I know if you're just coming in on day 2, you haven't had a chance to do that, but you'll be able to go back and do that on your own, or if you're following along and you can work really fast, you can do that with us too. Okay. So once you do that, you should have a course created. And if you guys want me to go through and switch to CodeHS and go through the steps, I'm more than happy to. If you have more than one section, these slides will go through on how to create a separate section. So, and I think there's a couple of different ways to go about this, but right over here, it'll say choose a name for your new section. So if you have like block 1 and block 2 that you're teaching the same course, you can go ahead and I usually just add that to the course name and put it in parentheses just so that I see them listed. So, okay, once you have created your first course, created your section, you will get to a screen that looks like this, where it will give you a class code. Now, on yesterday's homework assignment, I said, hey, just pick out the class you're teaching and the curriculum. And I we blocked out the section saying, we'll get this code tomorrow. So if you're jotting down and you didn't want to have to grab it later, this is the class code that you would give your students. So first week of school, and Debbie will go more into this later, but first week of school, hello, sign up for the course. Here's the link. Here's the code if you need it. And you'll be able to get all of your students enrolled into that section. So please ask questions into the chat if you have it. So what I usually do is our school last year, we were new to using Canvas. You guys might use Google Classroom or some other type of program, but I usually just post that link into Canvas so that they have it. Okay. And through CodeHS, you'll be able to manage your course enrollments. And here is the tip that I added. What I do is every time I create a class and I go to it, I go and I bookmark it on my bookmark bar. So depending on what browser you use, I use Chrome. So I'll make a bookmark folder and I'll add all of my classes in there. That way, as I'm going through and I'm teaching, whether it's intro or CSA or CSP or web design or whatever other course I'm teaching, I can just go and click on it and it takes me straight to where my students usually start off their class. So, okay. So I'm gonna, Debbie, I know you're next, but I'm gonna go ahead and Debbie's gonna jump on the script editor and introduce herself. And I'm hoping you guys were able to go through and set up your courses, but I wanted to flip really fast to that tab that I took you to. So, so this is where you would type your information and CodeHS does prompt you through it. So Debbie, please jump in whatever I had missed and please take over.
Okay, so I'm gonna say a couple other pro tips, one might say, although it's not the pro version, it's in using CodeHS. So the advantage of creating a course and then creating sections is that when you make a change to your course, that change shows up in all your sections. You can go later into each section and nuance perhaps further changes. But once you have that course and it's your course, and mine tend to say Weissman and then Introduction to Coding and Weissman AP, then that course, the changes I make, then I don't have to keep making those changes for each section. So that's the course and the section. And to me, that was so confusing in the beginning. And then when I realized really how to leverage that to my advantage, that's how I did it.
So I'm going to jump in there too. So since I just went through the process, if you know you have more than one section, so we're still looking at my screen, I have more than one section in the fall in Intro to Computer Science. So when I created that course the first time, I went through and I scrolled through and I chose CodeHS as template. And then when it prompted me through the second time, I didn't have to scroll through. I just chose, hey, Ketchum Intro, and there will be another, you won't see it the first time you're setting up a course, but the second time you'll see all of your classes at the top and then all of CodeHS is at the bottom.
Exactly.
And I think
you've pre-chosen will be at the top and they become your courses and then you can make the changes you need to. With that, I'm going to stop right here. That was a lot of information and really great. Are there any questions? Put them in the chat right now. Any comments? Any pro tips you have if you've already used CodeHS? I know someone here is familiar with the platform. Perhaps they do it a little bit differently. We're always looking to learn from you. Take 2 minutes and put something in the chat if you have any questions about this. If you want a minute to do it, and you can continue to load up your courses, but you have another homework assignment. And that homework assignment is going to be for you to be the student and to feel what it feels like to be the student. And so in anticipation of your homework assignment for tonight, I'm gonna walk you through right. And again, we stay online if you wanna do it with us. We'll walk you through it together. We can do it together. But I'm gonna take you to right now, the script editor, so that you can sit in the student point of view. And I'm gonna also say, yesterday I said, as the teacher, this is what's going to happen. But now I'm going to tell you as a student, what this is going to happen. And then you'll see that there is a homework assignment for you to do as the student. And I can tell you for my teaching, it's really helpful for me to do the exercises before the students, with the students, after the students, to just have that in my fingertips on my keyboard of what the students are going through has been really helpful for my teaching. And with that, I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to just share. I think this is going to be, you can just have the whole desktop. I think that'll be fine. Make sure I do this right. Do we see basically CodeHS? Yeah, let me see if I can move this somewhere. Is that all we see or do we see more? Just CodeHS, right? Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, you can see all my different tabs, which is what I wanted. Your students would start with their list of assignments as the student, and this is what it would look like versus as the teacher. And if you're confused about that at all, I'm going to pop it up and say, you as the teacher can choose which view you want, whether you want to be the student or the teacher. I need the student view because I want to feel what this feels like going through as the student. And then they would click on what the activity is. And I'm actually in Java because yesterday when we took a very short poll, it turned out a lot of teachers were interested in the Java courses. So the student will have a video choice or a slide choice. Here I've chosen slide to make a very specific point of the video or the slide. This is the first thing they will see. When they click continue or next, they'll actually have a quiz, and then next we'll give them the practice. And you'll notice the practice is identical to the video or the slides. So if they're confused, you can always say, did you go back and look at the practice? Did you go back and look at the slides? Did you review the video? And for you, I did the printing, so this is not going to be confusing, but perhaps you want to go further in the course and you want to practice a lesson in algorithms or in data structures, which is available to give you, perhaps that's closer to your learning edge. On the other hand, perhaps some of you that's not your learning edge, but wherever you want to go to try to feel the student experience here. But I've given you the first one to show you. And then the program itself will give you what the exercise is. This is the welcome program. It'll give you your instructions. And it will give you an example of what the output should be. And then you would print let's go. And I think I already did that here. When you print let's go, this is what your platform will look like as the student. And I can tell you as the teacher, and you'll know the difference in some of the tabs will look different. You won't be submitting and continuing if you're a teacher. That's how you know you're in your teacher view. So you want to be in your student view, feeling it as the student. And you might be trying something out here, and I'm just going to say, I've had so much time in Python. I think in Java, it's just going to be print hello, right? And I'm going to run it. And hopefully I'm going to do this really quickly. And I've got errors all over the place. As the student, I've got errors. What do I do as the student? And then when you see this platform as the student, you've got a few helps here. The quick docs on the left are terrific. You have the choice of enabling copy and paste or not copy and paste for your students. But if that's a choice, which I always give them, I say, let's not play around with typo errors, copy it and paste it, put it in. As the student, you can also check, there'll be test cases. In this case, they'll all fail. And these are helpful as your student to go through, and for you also to help guide your students through. So you've got your console output, your test cases. I always tell my students, go back to the assignment. Did you do the assignment correctly? As the student. As a student, you also have the hint of more full documentation if you didn't want the quick docs as the student. And then more as the student would give you help, teacher. So you might want to write that note and see what that feels like as the teacher, but also if you're as a student, if you're stuck. And as the student, you can go through and feel the video and how it feels to review the video right here in the program itself. So these are the things the student would do for the student to, the learning, the lesson, to work through the activity and to get themselves unstuck. And if they couldn't, pardon me, to reach out to you. I'm going to cough for 1 second, so I'm going to stop sharing and get this back to.
I just mentioned in the chat that the docs are a really great resource if you have students that need different accommodations. So for instance, I had a student last year who needed special accommodations. So I went and was able to print some of the stuff from the docs, and it really helped that student be able to have that visual next to them while they were trying to type, and also be able to know where to find it because they were allowed to copy and paste the code as one of their accommodations. So I hope you got your breath back, Debbie.
I did. Sorry about that.
There you
go. Right. And I had mentioned yesterday that so much about this program has been helpful for accommodations for each student of what they need. I've been able to really address it. And one of the ways is the speed in which they approach the course. One of them, it's not here in Java, but if you're in JavaScript, the intro course, you have a choice. The students could do block coding, which is moving things over so you're not individually typing. If there's issues of typing on the keyboard, and the mouse is a better method of coding at this point. And just lots of other types of accommodations that I've been able to manage using CodeHS. Are there any questions about the student experience? I already touched upon this, but I'm glad Enza is going to go back, because now it's going to be time to hand it over to you all to become students.
Yeah, we're totally serious with the 30 minutes a day. Like Debbie and I are like, okay, do we really want to spend like 3 days in workshops in the summer when probably a lot of you guys already have workshops and other PDs you have to do in the summer? We're like, no, drink coffee, get our class ready to go, and we don't have to do it that first week of school when we're cramming. So yesterday, once again, another quick recap. Yesterday, you picked the curriculum that matched what you wanted to teach. And today you started, some of you guys might have finished, but you started, or you learned how to set up your sections and set up your classes, and you have all of the slides available. If you're like, wait a minute, I need to work a little bit slower, I need them side by side, that's fine, you have access to it. And so today, Debbie, good job, Debbie, you did awesome. Debbie went through and was like, okay, as a student, you got the video, you take a quiz, you practice, and you do some exercises. So today, after you've set up at least one of your classes, and hopefully get them all set up so you don't have to worry about them if you know what you're teaching, then pick one of those classes in CodeHS and change yourself from a teacher to a student, and go into your assignments and say, you know what, I'm going to practice as if I'm a student, and I'm going to go through CodeHS and on one of the lessons. And a lesson is just a straight road going all the way from left to right in CodeHS. And so, there we go. And so, it's loading. I hope I didn't click too fast. The next slide, and it's also in the course, and I can go back and switch if my computer's just spinning for me right now, is your homework. And it's just basically just a think and review sheet. You've gone through the lesson, you know, what worked, what didn't work, what did you like about it, and what did you find useful. And so I'm going to stop sharing, and if
and I'm going to add something here. So this is what I've done, which I've been made a fun of to no end on it, is I've actually gone through almost every single CodeHS course and done it myself. And so if the one you're teaching, you feel really confident about teaching, perhaps find a language you haven't done. I know that they're about to load up the C++ data structures, which I can't wait because I'm ready to to do that one as well. But perhaps for you to really feel the student experience, to be a little confused, a little out of your comfort zone, a little, how is this going to work out for me? So you'll be effective in helping your students because you'll have had that feeling. So perhaps Java printing is really easy, and even Java algorithms isn't going to be what you want to do. But there's so many courses, even if you know so much about it. I mean, try the mobile apps, or go to VR and try a course if you for just to give yourself a little bit of a, like, what's this puzzle going to feel like? And that's how I approach them. They're all puzzles to me. They're all just fun, like fun puzzles that I get to figure out. And they've made a very comprehensive environment and given me so many tools that I actually can figure them out. And so I challenge you to do both. Do the course for your student, but then try one that's going to challenge you. Back to you, Enza. Do we have? Uh-oh. Okay, I am going to take it from here. Give me a second to share my screen again. I'm going to go back up to my assignments, and I'm going to go back up to find the mouse, and I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to take this. Are there any questions right now while I'm changing screens? Does anybody have anything they want to know more about? They want to see it again? Anyone? Okay, so with that, we're going to go to our slides, and you would have the same set of slides. Actually, I want to see this. I'm going to, oh, good, I'm in student view. Oh, wait, before I do that, I'm sorry. I'm going to show you your assignment. Day 2, action steps for day 2. And this is all once you're in the course, and I didn't look, but I know Lori and Linda are helping to make sure that everyone is signed up in the course. So you have all of this, you have all of our slides, you have more than we've even talked about today, but be the student. And in Be the Student, you have your worksheet. And again, feel free to do your worksheet. I love what Enza said. On the napkin that's underneath your coffee cup, or on a scrap piece of paper, or we have it available to be downloaded if you wanted it as a Google document. It's not a document, it's a Google presentation. Lori can put that in the chat for you if you want it. Your action steps, jot it down. But the real activity for this, and I call everything activities as opposed to assignments, but the real activity is for you to feel your students' experience on this platform, and even more it's super fun. It's really fun. If you haven't done it, go back to the Carol exercises. And one question was I've heard is like, what if we wanted to bypass Carol exercises? Don't. Those are so much fun. My students love moving Carol the dog and just finding that they can impact and code and learn what's on the screen. So really have fun being the student, which is why I always say find that learning edge and then go for it. Okay, with that, we're at 8:59. I think Enza is back.
Sorry about that. Luckily I have 2 computers set up just in case, but I wanted to, and I might have missed it, but I wanted to tell you guys that tomorrow, so I taught years on the pro version of CodeHS, and the last 2 years when I switched districts, I'm on the free version. And we're going to give you, whether you're free or pro, we're going to give you tips and tricks like, now, how do you grade students? What are some features that you might want to play around with? And then Debbie is going to set you up, like, first week of school, here's how you can set up your lessons so that you're ready to go. And so after tomorrow, you should at least have like weeks of lesson plans if you needed them. Like if you didn't want to go and recreate them, that you can go and use and have and ready to go for your computer science classes. So yeah, thank you guys. Any other questions or anything like that?
That's like I say, any questions at all? Yeah, next, yeah, and I was going to just follow up with Enza. So tomorrow is just going to be, dare I say, everything I wish I knew and I did wrong. You can't really do anything wrong, but all the places I was like, oh, if I'd only done that my very first time teaching on CodeHS, it would have made a much smoother experience for me. The experience is smooth for your students no matter what, because CodeHS has made sure it is, but it would have been like, oh, I wouldn't have spent so much time trying to figure that out. It's right here. They already did it. They built it in. So that's what we want to give to you.
It's totally scaffold though. Like if you don't know any of these other extra awesome things, you can at least have this and your class is going to run great and fine. Oh, and then after that, oh, you figured that out. You want to make it better. Here's this. Even better. Here's this.
Yeah.
So definitely whether you're new to CodeHS or you've used CodeHS, we're hopeful that you're going to get something out of tomorrow as well. So,
And we look forward to seeing you.
yeah.
Welcome back. Come back.
Awesome. Well, good luck, and we will see you guys tomorrow. And if you have specific questions, we'll be on for a little while.
Definitely.
So,
Thanks, everybody. You will get another email from me probably in the morning just to say, hey, don't forget we're here, and have that link right in front of you so you can grab that from your email to join us tomorrow. You have been an awesome group, and we so appreciate all of these questions. Thank you.